cells in series and parallel. Cells in series and parallel. Cells in series and parallel. Now, cell can be grouped in the following ways. Cells can be grouped in the following ways. So we can group the cells in series, parallel, and mixed combination. Some cells are in series and some other in parallel. So now we discuss the three cases. One, cells in series, cells connected in series. B, cells connected in parallel. And C, cells connected mixed circuit. So first I will go with cells connected in series. Let us suppose there are n cells, n identical cells, C1, C2, C3, so on, with EMF E1, E2, E3, and only 17 were there. What about other 16, 18? Array yaar. Chalo. So consider n cells. Consider n cells of EMFs E1, E2, E3, so on, En are connected in series as shown in the figure. As shown in the figure. As shown in the figure. As shown in the figure, right? Chalo. With an external resistance R. With an external resistance R. Let us draw the figure. Let us draw the figure. So this is my cell C1 with an internal resistance. So this is cell C1. Cell C2 with an internal resistance. This is my cell C2. And cell C3 with an internal resistance. Okay. R1, R2, and R3 with the internal resistance, and cell C3. So Cn, C, so on, cell Cn. Rn. My cell Cn and connected to external resistance R. Children, all of you please draw the diagram. Let us suppose that EMFs of cells are equal and their internal resistance are also equal. Okay, so that means R1 equal to R2 equal to R3 equal to Rn. That is, EMF E is equal to E1 is equal to E2 is equal to E3, so on is equal to En. At the same time, R is equal to Rn is equal to R2 is equal to R3, so on Rn. Right? In that case, the equivalent resistance in that case, E equivalent is equal to E, right? So E equivalent, E in this case, okay, in this case, EMF equivalent is equal to N into E. At the same time, R equivalent will be equal to N into R. So this circuit can be replaced. This can be replaced like this. Hello, please look at the board. So this circuit can be redrawn like this, right? So this is my cell, and this is my EMF equivalent, and this is my R equivalent, and this is my external resistance R, which is equal to N into E, which is equal to N into R, right? So this circuit was redrawn, assuming that the EMF of each cell is equal and internal resistance of each cell is equal. Chalo. Now let us find the current drawn in the circuit, right? So the current flowing in the circuit is denoted by I. Therefore, we know that let I be the current flowing in the circuit such that I is equal to E equivalent upon E by R, right? E by R. Sorry, V by R, which is equal to E equivalent by R plus R equivalent. Therefore, I is equal to N into E by R plus N into R. Hello, please copy down. Case 1. If R is very much greater than internal resistance, what happens? Internal resistance R equivalent, that is R is very much greater than N into R. Now what happens? Therefore, the denominator R plus N into R is almost equal to capital R. Okay. Therefore, the equation can be written as, in that case, the current drawn can be written as N into E by R. So this can be written as N into by R. If R is very much, external resistance is very much, R plus NR can be substituted with NR and we can neglect this R. So in that case, I is equal to N into E by NR. So here E by R. Okay. So these are the two special cases to be noted. You have, so this is my cell C1 with an internal resistance R1 and EMF E1 connected to another cell of EMF E2 and resistance R2 as shown in the figure. Okay, let us imagine the current is flowing across, current I is flowing across these two cells. So let us mark 3 points. Okay, this is my X, this is my Y, and this is my Z. So conventional current, the direction of the current is like this. So this is the I value, right? So current is flowing across this. Now let us calculate the potential difference across XY. Let us calculate the potential difference across XY. Okay. So VXY, potential difference across VXY gives you Vx minus Vy. You agree with this? You agree with this? Right. Now, what is Vxy? Actually, Vxy means Vxy is equal to the EMF over here is E1 minus the current over here is I, and R1, right? Now you substitute the same over there. So what we get? Vxy is equal to Vx minus Vy, which is equal to E1 minus I into R1. Now similarly for Yz, potential difference across YZ. So potential difference across YZ can be written as potential difference across YZ can be written as Vy minus Vz is equal to the potential difference VMF across YZ is E2 and the current is I and the resistance is R2. Similarly, XZ. Ah, XZ. Come on. Anybody in the class? XZ. So Vxy plus Vyz. So what is the value of Vxy? E1 minus IR1 plus what is the value of Yz? E2. Is it clear? Vxz is equal to xz is equal to Vxy plus V of Yz. Xz value is E1 minus IR1 plus Yz value is E2 minus IR. Rewrite this equation E1 plus E2 minus of take I common R1 plus R2. E1 plus E2 gives you E equivalent. R1 plus R2 gives you R equivalent. Therefore, E equivalent minus of I into R equivalent is equal to potential across XZ. Come on, copy. Connect. Let us connect N cells in series. In series. Therefore, EMF equivalent is equal to E1 plus E2 plus E3 plus so on En. And internal resistance R equivalent is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3 plus so on. So therefore, potential across N cells is given as potential across N cells when connected in series is given as V is equal to E equivalent is equal to E equivalent, E means EMF equivalent minus I into R equivalent. Now special case. In the same figure, if I change the polarity, that means special case. I have taken a battery like this, See, R1 is my internal resistance. Okay, I have changed the polarity. R2. Okay, this is my negative terminal and this is my positive terminal. So this is positive, negative, and positive. So this has EMF E1 and this has EMF E2. This is my X, Y, Z. Okay, this is my X point, Y point, and Z point. Okay, X point, Y point, and Z point. Now try to find the potential across XZ. Potential across XZ can be written as V into XY plus V into YZ, right? So here, look at here. Look at here. This is E1. Let us suppose this is E2. Okay. V from this formula, it is E1 plus E1 minus the current is I over here, I into R1 plus here the polarity has been changed minus E2 minus of I into R2. Now rewriting this equation, E1 minus E2 minus of I into R1 plus R2, right? R1 plus R2. Therefore, in this case, E equivalent is equal to E1 minus E2 and R equivalent is equal to R1 plus R. If the polarity changes, the EMF equivalent will change, isn't it? And it will be different. So this is the special case. Have a note of it. Copy it. Right?
So this is EMF E1, EMF E2, EMF E3, EMF EN. Internal resistance be R1, R2, R3, Rn, and the external resistance be capital R. So this is what the circuit diagram. Children, consider N cells of EMFs E1, E2, E3, so on, En are N cells C1 comma C2. This is cell C1. This is another cell C2. Like the Cn, right? Comma C3 so on Cn. The N cells connected in parallel to an external resistance R as shown in the picture. Right? Okay.
Since the connection is in parallel, right? So since the connection is parallel, right? EMFs will be one and the same, right? Therefore, E equivalent is equal to M into E. So E, right? Now coming to resistances part. Now E equivalent is equal to wait. Let us suppose. Let us suppose the cells are around say EMFs and say internal resistances. Internal resistance. Then E equivalent equal to E and R internal equivalent is equal to C. R equivalent 1 by R equivalent when two resistances connected in series, connected in parallel, the equivalent resistance is 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2, right? So R is equal to R1 R2 by R1 plus R2, right? Now if R1 is equal to R2, then what happens? R square by 2R. So RR gets cancelled. You will get a equivalent resistance R is equal to R by 2, right? R by 2. How many resistors we have taken? 2 resistors. So the equivalent resistance will be R by M. Therefore, the equivalent resistance in this case is R by M. Now what we have to do? We have to calculate the potential difference. Now, what we have to do? We have to calculate the potential difference or the current drawn from the circuit. So let us calculate the current drawn first and then we'll move to the potential. The potential difference anyhow will be of E only since the connection is in parallel. So there will be no change in the potential difference. Now let us calculate the current drawn. The current drawn, I let the current drawn, the current drawn be I. I is equal to E equivalent by R equivalent. So this becomes E by what is R plus R by N. R by N. NR N E by N into R plus now special cases. So current I is equal to what we got yesterday? I is equal to N into E by N into E by NR plus internal resistance R. So this is the expression what we have got yesterday. Case 1. Then R is very much greater than internal resistance. Then what happens? What happens, children, when R is very much greater than N? So the term denominator R by N plus R by N plus external resistance R is similar to, it's almost equal to capital R. So therefore, the I becomes NE by capital R. NE by capital N by N E by NR. N into R. So this is E by R. Now case 2. When R is very much, when external resistance is very much less than internal resistance. In this case, capital R is similar to R by N, right? So in that case, I becomes I is equal to E by R by N. Therefore, E N by R. Kirchhoff is a name of the scientist. So Kirch, double H word. Kirchhoff's laws. Kirchhoff's laws. And its so we have two laws, two Kirchhoff laws. The one is KCL, the first law is called first Kirchhoff law is called KCL law, and the second law is called KVL law. What is this called? The full form of KCL is Kirchhoff's current law, and the second is KVL. We call it as Kirchhoff's voltage law. Fine. What this KCL tells about? What this is KCL talk about? Okay. KCL, this first law tells that the algebraic KCL tells that the algebraic sum of currents at a junction is 0. The algebraic sum of currents at a junction in a circuit is 0. Algebraic sum of a junction in a circuit is 0. Sigma I is equal to 0. And this law is also known as, this law is also known as junction rule. This law is also known as junction rule. Let us suppose there are few currents entering at this particular junction. This is how the currents are entering like this. So this is my I1, this is my I2, and this is my I3, and this is my I4, and this is my I5, and this is my I6. Look at the figure. All the currents from different resistors R1, R2, R3, R4, R5 with different resistors are meeting at a point O. Okay. Now, if someone asks you what is the net current at O, the answer is 0. Why? Because according to KCL, the algebraic sum of all the currents at a junction is 0. So therefore, I rewrite the junction rule in mathematically. I1 minus I5. The direction is different, right? Here. This is I1. This is I5, right? Now go for I2 plus I2. Okay. Minus I6. Again, plus I3 minus I5 is equal to 0, is known as Kirchhoff's current laws. Now the second, KVL. What is KVL? Kirchhoff's voltage. Kirchhoff's voltage. Right? Now, KVL, the algebraic sum of potentials. The algebraic sum of potentials in a loop, in a closed loop, is 0. Okay, is 0. That is sigma B is equal to 0 in a loop, in a closed loop. This law is also known as loop law. Also known as loop law. This particular KVL is also known as loop. Okay. Now, let us suppose there is a potential difference, potential V over here, and resistance I, and there is one more, what do you say, battery V1 and V2. Or you can go like this. That's R1 and R2, right? So this is current over here, I1, and here this is I2, again enter, but here the current is again I2. Okay. Okay, just now let me do the A, B, C, D, E, F. So there are two loops given, right? So you consider, let us calculate, you consider area of the loop. For suppose, considering loop A, B, C, F.
So I have considered two loops here, A, B, C, F. Or you can go with C, F, E, D. Or you can also go with A, E, D, B. It's up to you. So it's up to you what loop you consider. But if you calculate the sum of potentials in the loop, then their sum should be equal to 0. Therefore, I consider A, B, C, F. Okay. So the potential difference across R1, the potential difference across R1 is I2 R1 plus here it is I1 R1 and B. This is V1 and this is V2. V2 is equal to 0. Okay. An example. That's all. It's an example. So these two laws are known as Kirchhoff laws, and now let us apply Stone. Keystone which consists of four resistors connected in the shape of rhombus and a bridge resistor is also a galvanometer is connected as a bridge. Okay. This is how the Keystone bridge is connected to a potential difference, right? Chalo. This is my galvanometer. Resistance, let it be R1. Resistance R2. Resistance R3. Resistance R4. Chalo. Now, provided by a plug key. Okay. Now, when the key is closed, current I enters. Okay, into the what do you call it? Bridge. Okay. So V-Stone bridge consists of four resistors R1, R2, R3, R4. Connected a bridge. A galvanometer acts as a bridge between these two resistors, these two loops, right? And a potential difference of V is connected across the bridge, right? So such arrangement is called V-Stone bridge. Okay. Now R1, the current when the plug key is on, current I1 reaches this junction. Let it be A, B, C, D. Okay. So the entry current is I. So the exit current should be I. Okay. So now let me apply junction rule and distribute currents in each resistor. So let me apply the junction rule and distribute the currents in the each resistor. Still, now the current across R1, let it be I1, right? So the current is passing and it reaches to A. So at this junction, there are two resistors, R1 and R2. Let the current enter into resistance R1 be I1. Okay. Now the current entered in R3 will be how much? I minus I1. Okay. Okay. But suppose there is a current 5 amp over here. So at this junction,
there was a junction, right? So there are two resistors connected to this junction. So I have 5 amp. So for suppose if 2 amp was filled by resistance R1, so the remaining should go to R3, right? So in the same principle, I am using the same principle. So current I at the junction A, it entered into resistor R1, let that current be I1. So the remaining current what is left over is sent to R3. Chalo. Now the current has reached to junction B. Look at here. So there is again a split. Again, there are two components. One is resistance R2, the other is galvanometer. So the current in the galvanometer be IG, right? So the rest part should enter into resistor R2. So the remaining part is how much? IC, I1 minus IC, I1 minus IC. Okay. At this junction, the current is I1. At B junction, the current is I1. So it has entered into two electrical components. One is galvanometer and the other is resistance R2. So let the current entry into the galvanometer be IG. So the remaining part should enter into resistance R2, which is I1 minus IG. Chalo. Now, coming to this situation, right? So this is from R3, it reaches to from R3, it reaches to junction B, and also from B junction, the current has reached to D junction. So what happens at this point, at this junction, these two currents should enter into the sum of these two currents enter into resistor R4. Thereby, the current from the R3 is I minus I1 plus the current from the galvanometer be I, right? Now, the current at C junction should be I. Why? Because the current at A junction is A, and current at A junction is I. So the entry current is I. So exit current should be I. So let us check whether it is I or not. So at this junction, at C junction, the current is I1 minus IG from I2. Okay, and from resistance R4, the current is I1 I minus I1 plus IG. Chalo, IG gets cancelled, I1 gets cancelled, so we left with I. So therefore, applying KCL, we have uniformly distributed the current across the four resistors. Chalo. Now let us apply KVL and find out the equivalent resistance of the resistor. Right? Now, while applying KVL, we have to consider the sign convention rule. So, before applying KVL law, we have to choose the loop, isn't it? KVL is applied to a loop, isn't it? So let us consider the loops over here. A, B, C, D, okay, E, F, and G. There are different loops. There are almost 6 loops in this diagram. So you can consider any of the loop. Okay. See, I'll tell you the loops. A, B, D, A is one loop. B, C, D, B is second loop. You may also go with A, B, C, D, E, F, G, one loop. You can also go with third loop. A, B, C, D, E, F, G is also the loop. So in this manner, there are different, almost 4 to 5, 6 loops, isn't it? So you can take the combinations what you like. So, right? So what I consider is, I consider loop taking loop. Which loop? A, B, D, A. A, B, D, A. Look at the direction. Look at the direction. I started from A, reached to B, again B, and again B. So let me draw my direction first. This is how I have to consider it. Okay, so this is my direction. Okay. sign convention rule. The direction what you have chosen and the direction of the current flow are in the same direction, then mark minus. If they are opposite, mark plus. That's all. Okay. So what does the loop tells? The loop tells you the potentials across the loop should be zero. The sum of the potentials across the loop is equal to zero. So AB, right? I started my journey from A and B. There is a potential called I1, R1. Okay, potential across resistance R1 is I1 into R1, applying Ohm's law. So the direction of the current and what I have chosen are in the same direction. So I take it represent. Right? Now from A to B done, from B to A, B to A, right? B to A, the potential is Ig into G, and again there are the same direction, so they do same. Now D to A, now D to A, D2 is the potential is I minus I1 into the resistor value is R4. R3, sorry. They are in opposite direction, so positive. So I have three in a loop A, B, D, A. I have three potential areas. So the algebraic sum should be zero. Chalo. Equation number 1. Now let me take the other loop. So now I am taking loop B, C, D and B. So this is my loop now. So I started from B, reached to C, and again D, and again. So this is my direction. Okay. So the potential across BC is how much I1 minus Ig into the resistor over there is R2, and the direction are both in the same direction, so I'll make minus 7. Again from there, CD, the potential over there is I minus I1 plus Ig into R4. The direction is opposite, so positive. Now, the last loop, DB. DB again the potential is Ig, G. They are in opposite direction, so positive is equal to 0. This is my second loop. So when the bridge is balanced, so the balancing condition of the bridge is no current flow from the galvanometer. Okay. I'll tell you the reason also. See, at this junction and this junction, the potentials are one and the same. Okay. So there is no current across this galvanometer. So balancing Wheatstone's balancing condition. Wheatstone bridge balancing condition is what? Current through galvanometer is equal to 0. Current through galvanometer is equal to 0. Now substitute Ig is equal to 0 in equation 1 and 2. So substituting Ig is equal to 0 in equation 1 and 2, we get. Now when I substitute current across the galvanometer is equal to 0, then the first equation can be written as I1 R1 plus I minus I1 into R3 is equal to 0, or it can be written as I minus I1 R3 is equal to I1 R1, equation number 3. Now the second equation, if I substitute Ig value equal to 0, equation 2, I get minus I1 R2 plus I minus I1 R4 is equal to 0. So I can rewrite this equation as
I minus I1 R4 is equal to I1 R2 equation number 4. Okay, dividing equation 3 by equation 4. What I get? I1 R1 by I1 R2 is equal to I minus I1 R3 by I minus I1 R4. So I got the condition R1 by R2 is equal to R3 by R4. Now if I substitute R1 as P, R2 as Q, and R3 as R, and R4 as S. So P by Q is equal to R by S. So what does it tell us? If the ratios of these resistances are equal, if the ratios of these four resistances alternately are equal, then there will be no current across the junction. Okay? Chalo, copy down. Meter bridge. Meter bridge is a device used to determine the specific resistance and the unknown resistance in a circuit. So we can easily, or we can, the other usage of meter bridge is we can verify the resistance loss. We have two laws, right? Resistance is connected in series and resistance connected in parallel. So the equations like the equivalent resistance when the resistance are connected in series is the sum of the resistances across the circuit. If it is on parallel, 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. So those laws can be verified using meter bridge, and also we can determine the value of resistance and specific resistance in a circuit. Chalo. Now let us two conducting plates, as shown in the figure. These are conducting plates. Plate. Conducting plates, right? Right. Two conducting plates. Like this. Connected with a steel Nicorum wire and two gaps X and Y were C. So this is gap X and this is gap Y. And these two conducting plates connected to a steel Nicorum wire. Okay, low melting point. Right? And this is connected to a battery with a plug key in this manner. Wait, not like this. This is positive. This is connected to high resistance box and connected to what you call that high resistance box and then plug key and to jockey and the battery like this. A galvanometer. One gap is filled with the known resistance. Known resistance are known. The other gap is filled with
unknown resistance, RUT. Okay. And from this plate, this is connected to galvanometer and the jockey is provided on it. A meter scale is attached to the wire. Okay, so this is the meter scale. So hence this bridge is called meter bridge. So this is the Nicorum steel wire. Right? High resistance box, a switch, battery, steel, Nicorum wire. Okay. AB are conducting metal plates, ABC oil, ABC plates. Okay, X gap is connected with a known resistance RK, known resistance RK, Y gap is connected with unknown resistance RUK. Or you can go with P and R. It's up to you. Okay. So the length of the wire is how much? 100 centimeters, which is 1 meter. So hence which is called meter bridge, right? Now applying Kirchhoff laws or the condition drawn from the Brewster bridge. Okay. Now look at here. So this is a known resistance and this is unknown resistance. Known resistance and unknown resistance. Okay. First we have to find the balancing condition. What do you mean by balancing condition? At what particular length? The value of galvanometer is 0 is called balancing point. The point where in terms of length, right? On the main scale, meter scale, the point where the galvanometer current in the galvanometer is 0 is known as balancing point. BP, right? BP, right? So let us suppose that L1 BP balancing point. So that the bridge is balanced. So that the bridge is balanced. Okay. When the bridge is balanced, X by Y should be equal to L1 by 100 minus L1. Isn't it? So what is my X? X is equal to resistance known. What is my Y? Resistance unknown, which is equal to L1 by 100 minus L1. So if the balancing point is over here,
The balancing point is over here, that is the L1. Okay, so this length will be L2, right? What is L2? L2 is what? L2 is equal to 100 minus L1. Right. What we want RK, right? We want RK, right? So therefore, 1 by unknown is equal to unknown into L1 is equal to known into 100 minus L1. Therefore, resistance unknown is equal to resistance known into 100 minus L1 by L. So this is how we determine the unknown resistance